Hey everybody, Steven here, playing Subnautica Below Zero, and today Unknown Worlds released the Deep Dive update for early access. Now, for those that have been following along, Tom Joubert, the writer for Subnautica the first game, and for this game, has actually left Unknown Worlds to pursue other things that he wants to do, so they've hired on Jill Murray to finish out the story. With that being said, this is the last big update that we're going to see before they actually start tweaking and changing the story. Now, they've said, like, hey, there's a lot of stuff in this that everybody likes. We're not changing the biomes or anything like that. They're not changing Alan. They're not changing Margaret. They're not changing a lot of these core things, but tweaking the story is kind of the impression that I'm getting with that. So this is the last big update that we're going to see before those next changes roll out. Now, I don't know when we're going to start to see those actually coming to the game, and I mean even in the experimental build, right? So you're looking at long periods before, months before we have a big update hitting early access for those that aren't playing the experimental build. For those that are, you're seeing these changes weekly, but I don't know, like I said, when we're going to actually see those changes. I think within the next month we will for sure see some. At the latest, the beginning of next year. But like I said, I don't know 100% for sure. But with that being said, we are going to look at a lot of the things that have been updated with this. So a lot of people that don't play the experimental build, these things are going to be new to you guys. I'm in free cam mode. The intro is different. That'll be the one thing that you notice. If you're playing an old save game, a lot of times it may not work, or you may notice that a lot of things are missing. You're not going to have the new additions. You literally need to start over, so keep that in mind to see this stuff. First thing, we come out, we see the Vesper up there. We're going to have changes to the actual dialogue, to how Robin wakes up, her interactions, and the dialogue that she has with Sam, all those different things. So you'll notice that I don't want to spoil that for everybody. The meteor, you actually get to see that hitting the Vesper now, which is pretty cool. Once you actually get outside here, you're going to notice a bunch of new additions. You'll see that there's a bunch of changes to the kind of ice sheets here that are floating around. They've made some actually bigger, which is really, really cool. The further you get out, too, we start going over here, you'll actually come to, there we go, a little research pad area, and you'll find some cool stuff over here, PDAs, things like that. So that's just right from the get. When you come straight out, you'll find this, and you can see it's pretty much in alignment with the island, and that's the direct path you're taking once you exit the tunnel there. So we have that. There's other additions in here too. See if I can see if they'll pop in with some other research sites, right, that are floating around. And then these ice steels right here, you can't touch them, you'll freeze. Those are pretty cool. I think this is a placeholder right now in terms of a look. I think that'll change eventually. Dialogue with Alan has changed. The actual sanctuary, they have the robots in there now. The architect or precursor robots are down there now, which is really, really cool. A lot of just tweaks and changes to the Twisty Bridges area. You have more tunnels in, I'm trying to think of the name of the biome here. So down here you're going to have a lot of different, let's ghost in so I can see what this is, because there's so many biomes now. The kelp caverns, there we go, kelp caves. So with this, and you can actually hear your PDA's voice is different, but you're seeing a lot of different tunnels now with this, with the addition of a lot of the different artifacts that you can find hidden around the world that have changed from other locations. I don't want to spoil all of that stuff for you guys, but you have a lot of different kelp caves, caverns, caves, tunnels that you can explore now also. You see the deal down there. So a lot of the different, and I don't know if this was in the last update, but a lot of different creature eggs are now in game, so you can get those and take them back and hatch those if you want to. We have different icebergs in place. You actually have the, and I was pronouncing this wrong. I was calling it Cryptosuchus. It's Cryptosuchus. You have the hidden croc, which is the Cryptosuchus. He is in game, or she, or they are in game, and they are pretty vicious. Be very, very careful. They look pretty intense, but they are very, very aggressive. They've made changes to the filmic mode and made that better. I think it's the default also with this. So you may notice that the game looks a little bit visually a little bit different, and that's because that is the default kind of visual tweak that they've added. You can go back into your settings and change this, of course. So we have our iceberg. Now coming down here, the pathways getting into the glacial basin have changed, and then you see the addition of the jellyfish, which are really, really cool. Warning with this, if you touch their tentacles, they will electrocute you, and there are a lot of them. If you're in a vehicle, it doesn't do it, at least when I've been playing. I can't say that. A lot of times with these updates, we get little tweaks to that stuff. But if you have your sea moth, it doesn't do anything. So you can actually just kind of drive right through these guys. You can see where they're like inside the rock there. So, and these guys are, you can find our opening, it's right here. All the way, a lot of times they're blocking the entrance. They're all the way up in the glacial connection to the glacial basin here, right? So there's a lot of these guys here. But once you actually get to the glacial basin, and you'll see this at the opening too, so the models have been updated for the escape pods. They look really, really good. I love this crash one right here. We checked the Snow Fox base. That has been updated. Looks way better in here. You have a bunch of different scans that you can do in here, PDAs that you can look at, things like that. So a lot of just different cool adjustments that we're seeing in here. And of course, many more to come over the coming months. But we have that. I'm not going to cover the ice worm area necessarily. I will show you, because I don't know if this is, I think this was in the last one actually. So you don't have to worry about this, but you do have one of the precursor bases right in here. I've covered that in another video. We have more artifacts. Like I said, there's actually an artifact in here. But let's head over to a couple different things. The crash ship models have been updated. They look really, really good. They look way better than they did. Let's take that fog off for a second. The deep lily pad biome has been updated. And these are all updates wrapped in it. The bigger ones are going to be Marg's base is in game. You can see that, and then you can actually see the hive mind, which is really, really cool. So you have the first part right here. Take that right back off for a second. Second part of the crash ship is just a straight line from that, right? But like I said, these models have been updated so they look better. They've also tweaked the edge of the world. They're not finished with it, but it looks more complete. So more like the first game where it just gradually tapers off and then does a drop off. So this is the second part of the crash ship. Alright. And then we'll go deep underneath here. And this is just showcasing you guys. I have other videos showcasing you how to get to a lot of these areas. But once we get down here into Marg's area, the whole area has been overhauled. This is where you can see the hive mind. Looks much better. And you can see her base. There should be an interaction with her in the game also, which I've done a video on that. But like I said, you guys can watch those separate videos. And we will see her. There we go. Her really cool prawn suit there. I want that one too, by the way. And of course her base is just in shambles. But got the Reaper Leviathan skull. Love that thing. Ton of different scans in here as well. And then, actually I need that. Then we start getting into Take it off for a second, actually. The crystal caves and the additions here. So with this big update from what it looked like before, we have more plants, more textures, cool little bugs, right? Different scans for the prawn suit for the torpedo arms. Go a little bit further in here, and this actually now connects to the Fabricator Caves. I believe this is a crystal. I always keep wanting to say caves, but I think this is the crystal caverns, right? And once you go down here, you can actually get into the crystal castle here. You can look at that. Our little chandelier. And then going inside here, we got some of Alan's body parts are now in game also. With that is associated story stuff that goes on. Like I said, I don't want to do any of that for anybody. Then we can get into the Fabricator Caves here, which before for you guys this might have just been like blank or not even here. And once we get down here, we can see the Fabricator base. Where am I? There we go. There we go. I'm not going to go in. I did that on a separate video, and for anybody that doesn't want any spoilers for that section of it, definitely let you guys do that on your own, but that is in game as well. So ton of different stuff. They've, like I said, tweaked a lot of the story, like sending up the rocket to the Vesper has changed, and there's a big thing that goes on with that. I've covered that in another video. Just a ton of different things. Now with this, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen story-wise and when we're going to see another big update. I don't know how long Jill's been working on the story since Tom announced his departure back in October. How long it took them to find Jill, like I said, how long she's been working on it, so we'll see. But that's some of the stuff that's actually covered in this. I know there's a lot more, but this is a very beefy update. Really, really cool to see. Like I said, especially for those that have been following along and haven't been playing the experimental build and have been wanting to actually play through a lot of the things that they're seeing on YouTube or anybody else that's playing the experimental build that's showcasing it. So that is it, everybody. If you liked the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all of my content, hit the subscribe button for me. I know there's a lot in this update, so if there's something where you're like, dude, I saw you went to X and I don't know how to get there. A lot of these things, like I said, I already have pre-existing videos showcasing how to get there, but if there's something you're like, I still can't get there and I need to do another one, I would be happy to do that for you guys, or anything else maybe that I just haven't covered. So like I said, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check back soon for more videos.